The development of the Battle of Arnhem in September 1944 is generally well known. British airborne forces land near Arnhem and are being defeated due to the intervention of two SS armored divisions. The defeat is often attributed to an intelligence failure. Intelligence from the Dutch resistance was ignored, and British intelligence was dismissed by High Command. The SS divisions came to the Arnhem region only days before the operation and were in such bad shape that they could have been overlooked as a capable force. But the story does not end here. Behind this slip is an even more serious intelligence failure, because the battered SS armored divisions were not the only SS units in the region. The region north of Arnhem was traditionally the training ground for the Dutch army. Since the 19th century, the army increased its presence in the forested ridge of hills called the Veluwe. This sparsely populated and wild area was deemed fit for large-scale army exercises. After the invasion of the Netherlands in 1940, the German army took over these facilities. At first, there was high turnover of units, but as the war progressed, German training units were gradually based permanently in the Netherlands. The expanding Waffen-SS was also on the lookout for new training facilities, and they found some in the Netherlands. In 1941, an SS anti-tank training battalion was based in Hilversum, and the SS training battalion Germania was moved from Hamburg to Arnhem. A command HQ for the Waffen-SS in the Netherlands was based in The Hague in the same year. In 1942, the Waffen-SS training facilities in the Netherlands were expanded. An artillery training battalion was established in Apeldoorn, and a battalion-sized truck driver school was also located in the same town. In Ede, the 1st SS Police Regiment got its depot for training replacements, and the training of the SS Police Artillery was located in Amersfoort. In the same year, the command HQ for the Waffen-SS in the Netherlands was moved from The Hague to Apeldoorn. This was a logical step, because the Veluwe region had become one of the largest concentrations of training units of the Waffen-SS outside of Germany, with 2 infantry battalions, 2 artillery battalions and a truck driver school. The SS presence was underlined by the expansion of the school of the Dutch SS in Avegoor. Formally speaking, this was not part of the Waffen-SS, but the Dutch SS got a brief military training in this facility. Another outfit in the region was the SS Guard Battalion for the prisoner camp near Amersfoort. It was commanded by the same officer who was responsible for the SS school in Avegoor. In 1943, the Waffen-SS presence on the Veluwe and its outskirts was beefed up again by the location of the SS Junior Officer School in Arnhem. Meanwhile, the SS Police was firmly integrated in the Waffen-SS, and its infantry training battalion became a Panzergrenadier training battalion for the SS Panzergrenadier Police Division. The same happened to the Germania training battalion, which was reformed as the Panzergrenadier training battalion for the newly recruited Hitlerjugend SS division. The police artillery unit was replaced by a regular SS artillery training battalion. The spring of 1944 saw the largest concentration of Waffen-SS training units in the Veluwe region so far, with the arrival of an SS heavy tank battalion in Wezep, which went there for training with Tiger tanks. This meant that the Waffen-SS units in training in this region were the size of a small division, with tanks, motorized infantry and artillery, and could be supplemented with hundreds of junior officers and drivers in support. In terms of intelligence, it would be hard to overlook such a long-established and expanding concentration of SS training units. The training units became, however, somewhat dispersed in the summer of 1944. The heavy tank battalion left for Germany, while most of the men in the depot battalion of the Hitlerjugend division went to fight in Normandy. By the end of August, the depot battalion of the Hitlerjugend division was formally withdrawn, and the instructors of this unit were used to form a new Panzergrenadier training battalion. Meanwhile, the junior officer school in Arnhem was mobilized into 2 battalions, and together with the police Panzergrenadier battalion it was moved along the Waal River to intercept stragglers and deserters, while guarding the crossings over this river against an expected Allied breakthrough. This did weaken the SS presence on the outskirts of the Veluwe, but it didn't take away the danger for the British airborne troops, as we shall see. When the British airborne troops came down near Arnhem on September 17, 1944, their immediate enemy was not the SS Corps with its better divisions, but the SS Panzergrenadier training battalion between their landing zone and the city of Arnhem. The battalion had set up blocking positions at every possible route to Arnhem, and as a result they managed to hold off the British long enough for the reinforcements of the aforementioned SS divisions to arrive. From the west, the 3 SS battalions along the Waal attacked the British from that direction, and from the north came the SS Guard battalion from Amersfoort. All SS training units on the Veluwe area were mobilized and rushed to the scene. With nearby SS units coming in from all sides, the British were forced to form a perimeter, which prevented them to focus all forces to reach Arnhem. Although these SS units were not fully trained or fit for the frontline duty, their rapid deployment effectively boxed in the British from all directions north of the Rhine. The British did not only came to regret the oversight of the 2 decimated SS division, but even more the fact that they had landed in a long-established training zone of the Waffen-SS. If you like my content, please like this video, share it on YouTube and other social media, and subscribe so you never miss a new video.